And welcome everybody to the 2018 Canadian National Championships. We're in downtown Winnipeg at the Duckworth Center. I'm joined by Mitch Braley. We are set for a great quarterfinal between Samuel Murray, the number 1 seed, and Curtis Cullen, the number 8 seed. Mitch, on paper we say, well, 8th seed doesn't have a chance. I'm not so sure.
No, I agree. We talked about this dynamic a little bit in the previous match. You have Samuel Murray, who's been playing the Pro Tour and has had some fantastic results and improvements this past season here. He's training hard. He wants to make the national team. He's seeking his first national gold medal versus Curtis Cullen, who's from Brandon, Manitoba, only 2 hours away from Winnipeg, so for all intents and purposes, a local. I've talked to him a lot. He's just here to have fun. He hasn't been trading as much as he has in previous years when he was one of our top players in Canada. So he's just here swinging freely, seeing what happens, hitting the ball a ton, serving great, and just here to see what happens. So he could be a bit of a dark horse in this match for sure, Tim.
Well, here we go. Cullen in the green to serve first. Was absolutely cranking his serve yesterday. Good start to this match. Cullen a little disappointed with how the ball bounced off that back wall. It hit the corner. No court hinder in Canadian racquetball with the door.
No, and that's just one thing you have to erase from your mind right away and focus on the next point.
Screen serve, second serve coming up. Loose ceiling ball from Cullen. And the first point for Murray. A little bit different today, though, for Cullen. Yesterday, sure, swing free. It's my first singles match. Got nothing to lose. All of a sudden, I've got a chance at a medal.
You know what? I've actually talked about that with him exactly, and he said the same thing. He's like, I haven't been training. He says, not that he doesn't care about making that next medal round, but he's like, you know what? I'd be happy to finish in the top 8, which he already has. So he's just going to come out, guns blazing, shoot everything, and hope that he can just play well and have the same success he did yesterday against Samuel's brother, Tommy.
Great rally again. Not that time for Cullen. Samuel Murray, a very consistent player, doesn't make many mistakes. It's very quick around the court.
It's interesting to watch when you talk about him. He doesn't have any huge weapons he uses. I mean, he's extremely fast, hits the ball hard, has great hands, but he just wears you down with consistently and smart shot selection and just slowly sneaks his way and builds up into these leads that are built from consistency and smart play.
Not the start Cullen wanted. He's got in the rallies, but he hasn't put anything down yet. 4-0. Make that 5. Might be worth taking a timeout here just to stop the momentum.
Yeah, especially this early on. Why not just to regroup yourself, look at who you're facing, think about it, and realize what your game plan is that you've come into this match with.
Skip from Cullen. Looks like he will take that first timeout. The score is 6-0. Just a reminder, this is the last match of today. We've had 6. This is the 6th match we've shown today. It's been a long day. Quarterfinals for all the men, semifinals for all the women. Just a reminder, women play their final on Saturday, so they get a day off tomorrow. Men come back for the semifinals. They will be tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. So Cullen comes in first. Doesn't really seem to have settled Mitch into this match.
No, and you know, I was just going to say we talk about playing loose and just going for everything, but that becomes a lot harder to do as the match starts to get away from you. It's only 6-0, but you can see this getting away from him really quickly here if he doesn't tighten up on a couple of points, get in the box and run off a couple just to get on the board and really get into this match.
Just clean hitting from Murray. Attacks it early in the middle. Keeps it very low.
Yeah, definitely putting up a bit more of a fight in this first game so far than his brother Tommy Murray did yesterday against Cullen in the round of 16s.
Beautiful shot from Cullen. Let's see if that gives him some momentum. Yeah, you mentioned that match yesterday against Tommy Murray. It really came down to the fact that Murray, the brother of Samuel Murray, just couldn't return that serve, and so it just created so many opportunities for easy points.
Yeah, I mean, we watched Tommy Murray all week in the doubles, and he was playing fantastic ball, made it to the final. They had a great final, but ultimately Cullen was serving fantastic, and it just shows that, the way Samuel Murray's handled that serve, hasn't tried to do too much with it, hasn't made mistakes, kind of nullifies the effect of it, and he's shown it here with a lead of 7-1 in the first game.
Not a great jam serve. Like the idea, but Murray had plenty of time to run around and execute a passing shot.
No, and I mean, Cullen's one of the hardest hitters here, and that ball he really didn't hit near as hard as he can, which you need to do on a jam serve.
Both of these players pretty calm, pretty unemotional when they play. And again, Murray is the one that's controlling that. He managed to stay in the point, waited for his opportunity, put it down over on the right side.
Hasn't skipped a shot yet, which shows, I mean, still fairly early here at 8-1, but his consistency and his smart shot making puts a lot of pressure on Cullen.
It's just really clean right now. Very few mistakes from Murray. In fact, I'm not sure he skipped one yet, has he?
I don't believe he has, no.
9-1's the score. That's a beautiful return straight down the line from Cullen. Let's see if this can give him some momentum. He really needs it. He's down 9-1. But another skip. Went for the forehand pinch. Straight down the line on the right side might have been a better option.
I thought that's what he was going to be going for until he missed that pinch. It was wide open for him. So he's been hitting all week really well. So I think just, again, the pressure and the opponent you're playing makes you go for a little bit too much and overthink yourself.
That's a great return, flick of the wrist from Cullen. Not sure Murray's going to serve to that side again.
No, that forehand he has is dynamite. He's been hitting all sorts of winners from that. We saw it yesterday against Tommy Murray. He didn't miss hardly anything on that. He hit plenty of kill shots, really good passes.
Finally, Cullen hits that serve he's been looking for. An ace, 2 serving 9. Look at how Murray bent his knees when he hit that shot. It takes a lot of leg strength to do that.
It does. He was almost planted in place, got super low, and just came through with his core and re-killed that down the line perfectly.
Cullen wanted a screen. He'll get one. Lob to the backhand coming up. Knows, changes it. Well, there's the difference, Mitch. Cullen had opportunities, 2 of them, to put that ball away. Kept hitting the ball back to the middle. Murray hits one down the line.
And I think, you get Murray where, Cullen missed one shot that was a bit loose. Murray was still in the rally with it, but Cullen missed another shot, and Murray punished him for it. You can't make that many mistakes in a rally. 1, maybe 2, and that's it at this level of play.
So there was a situation where Murray said, wasn't that a screen? And Cullen said, I didn't ask for it. I'm not as sure about Canadian rules, but in international rules, if a screen serve is a disadvantage to the server, you don't call the screen serve.
That is correct. It's the same here in Canada. So even though it might be a screen that you can put your hand up and call it, if it's a weak server, you can shoot it. Then it's sometimes favorable to just make the shot and win the rally, or put your opponent on the defense right away instead of replaying it, giving your opponent another serve.
There's a situation where I'd like to see Cullen do what Iwasa did in the first game, which is when the ball's coming through the middle, take it. A couple of times the ball's come through the middle, Cullen's allowed it to wrap around behind him, and then finds himself trying to hit a more difficult shot as opposed to the ball's coming at me in the middle, Murray's behind me, I can do what I want with it. Still, easier said than done because you have to execute that.
It is a tough shot to cut the ball off, but at the same time, if he's waiting for it, you have Murray, who is so fast and so strong. So if he gets into center court and has any ability to get to the ball, he's going to get there, and he's going to be shooting, and he's not going defense.
That'll be a wet ball. Great get, Cullen. Should be an avoidable hinder. No argument from Cullen. He knows the rules well, international referee. He's going to... So Cullen was just checking, he took a full swing, right? And our official, John Halco, said no, he didn't. And you could clearly see he was holding up as he swung through there.
Yeah, I think it's just smart from Cullen to poke at referee John Howell a little bit here, just to make sure he's confident in the call. Maybe put some seeds in his mind for any future situations to see if he'll, force Murray to take that shot in the future instead of just awarding the avoidable.
Well, that ball really slid off the floor, unreturned by Cullen. Another point for Murray. And another great serve over to the right. Murray mixing it up, 13-3. Timeout on the court, taken by Cullen. So, Mitch, you're Curtis Cullen. You've taken your second timeout. You're down significantly in game one. What do you do?
Honestly, at this point, and we've seen this a few times now throughout the tournament, when you're down big in the first game, you just have to come out with, you're probably going to lose this first game. Let's get some points. Let's build some momentum. Cullen served really well this entire tournament here. He served really well on the singles yesterday, so probably one of the hardest hitters here, so get in there and just crush serves hard as you possibly can. Go for a couple of crack aces, some wide jams, make Murray as uncomfortable as you possibly can. See if you can get a serve that works. Force some weak returns. Just use your power to your advantage. That's your game. That's what's been successful all week, so get back in there and start ripping some drive serves. Go for aces. Go for broke. You have nothing to lose in this game, at least in this point. Just gain a few points and start the second game off on a good foot.
Well, there's a reason Murray's the #1 seed. He's won both selection events in Canada in the last 12 months. He's on course to go to the semifinals here. He earns his first game point.
And Murray here, he's actually, interestingly enough, he's won the selection events we have, but he's never won a Canadian National, so he's hungry for it. He lost to Mike Green last year in a 12-10 tiebreaker, very close, so he really wants this one. You can see with how determined he's playing right now.
So we're going to take a couple minutes to regroup. You can see Cullen staying on the court. We're going to be back in just a minute. We're back in for game number 2. Tim Baghurst, Mitch Braley. Murray claimed the first very comfortably, played so clean, very dialed in. Let's see if he can continue that. Beautiful hands from Cullen. Saw Murray stuck on the left, hit the pinch so that it went right. Just what he needed to start game 2.
It's a good start for him. See what he comes out with for a serve here.
Almost. We've been in only 18 minutes. That was a very short first game. That includes 2 timeouts. Good shot from Cullen. Went left. Murray looked right. Just what he wanted, 1-0. Murray wants a short serve. Your take, Mitch. Looks really close.
Close. I think it looked okay to me, and trust John Halco, the referee, here to make the right call, but Cullen looked confident that it was a good serve.
Wow. Can't do it any better than that. Forehand pinch rollout.
That's exactly what he has to do. He can't get into these scrappy rallies with Murray. Those are the ones Murray's going to win. Most of the time, he excels at the tries, so Cullen's got to hit a good serve, get that weak return, and finish on the third shot.
Rare skip from Murray. This is exactly what Cullen needed to start game number 2.
That might be his first skip of the match.
Looks like a drive serve, second serve. Wow. Great shot from Murray. Look at how quickly he moved his feet to get to that.
His hands are phenomenal too. I mean, that serve is coming in, even though it was a second serve, drive serve, probably still, 150 miles an hour, and just nice soft hands to pinch that in the front corner.
Murray, everyone thought he was going down the right, including us and Cullen. Murray flicks it left for the first point of this second game for him.
And again, he's made those forehand setups. The last few have been down the line. So that's why Cullen and all of us were thinking it was going down the right. So smart shot from him, good mix-up.
But a skip ran over to hit it on his forehand side, buries it into the floor. Side out for serving one. Great retrieval from Murray. Oh my goodness, Cullen had to hit 3 great shots. Serve, splat, and then do it again.
And I think at the same time, I mean, it's nice to know you won that point and did that, but you look at Cullen and see, knowing in his mind, knowing what he had to do to win that point, great shots, great serves, it wears on you mentally, knowing you have to play at that level the whole match to win.
Terrific serve that time. Well, there's the example. It was a tentative strike from Cullen. He knew what he needed to do, didn't put it down.
Yeah, it just looks like he's been playing really confident this beginning of the second game here. For whatever reason, he didn't swing fully at that, tried to guide it in versus taking the full swing, try to be too precise with it, and Murray punished him.
Beautiful from Curtis Cullen. Can't do it any better than that. It's been a very high quality match, even though the differential in score, 15-3 in game one, it wasn't because it was full of errors.
No, it's been very clean, and there was still some fantastic rallies in that first game.
That time there's an avoidable hinder called. I don't think Murray can argue with that one. Got trapped on the wall. Curtis Cullen was right there. Point given. Again, he hit that jam serve. Works well. Drive serve for second serve. Great shot. This time he didn't go for the pinch, decided to go down the line. Again, it's that ability to be able to hit all the different shots from all the different angles that keeps your opponent guessing.
And his forehand has been so deadly here all tournaments, so I'm not surprised he's had that variety. And if he gets a setup on it, he's going to put it away. He doesn't care if he's playing the number 1 seed. He knows what he can do, and he's executing.
But a rare skip from Cullen in game 2 gives Murray the side out. Quite a change from game 1, where Murray claimed it 15-3.
Yeah, we saw a couple of skips from Murray here, which he didn't do at all in the first game, which I think sort of just shifted the momentum a little bit in Cullen's way. He's serving better here. He's making the shots, and you can see it in the scoreline.
And we've talked about this before, how momentum can just change with 2 minutes in between games. Somebody blows you out the first game, and then maybe they get a little casual, or maybe you relax a little bit and go for broke, and suddenly things transform.
I think it shows just how important and difficult the mental game is. You blow someone out in the first game. We have a little bit of a controversy here.
Well, Murray doesn't like it. That ball was in the air, says our head official, John Halco. Not exactly sure what that means.
I'm guessing he's trying to say it was a tough shot. It wasn't quite a setup for Murray there. That's why it's only replay. Not sure if I agree, but
A serve from Cullen. That's what he wants. Looks like Murray's going to take his first time out. Probably a wise one. I might have taken it a little sooner, given that we now have a 7-point swing.
well, and I was saying there before the bit of controversy before the call, but you blow someone out in the first game, and it's very hard mentally to stay focused for an entire match, and it is a developed skill you need. So to win 30 points and stay at that high level of play for an entire match is something people take for granted. It's not just about your physical game and executing. It's about staying focused, not wavering, knowing you beat them 15 through the first game, but you have to play just as well against a high-level player to win that second game too. So I know Murray has a ton of experience. He's played the Pro Tour. He's been in this situation before. I'm sure he'll recoup it here in this smart timeout and come back in with a little bit sharper, a little bit more tight with his shots.
Well, we hope you are enjoying this coverage of the men's quarterfinal, the last one of the evening. Score is 8-1 in favor of Cullen. Quite a transformation as he lost the first 15-3. Tomorrow we'll have the semifinals, 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. We may also have some coverage in the afternoon of some of the brackets as they try to find out where they finish in the Canadian National Championships. Here in Canada, Mitch, you break everything down so that you know exactly what position you finished here at Nationals.
Yeah, it's nice for the players that come in knowing that realistically they're not probably going to win this event or even come in the top 3, top 4, but they play all those divisions out, all the points out, so at the end of the day you know exactly where you finished, where you placed, and how you stack up, so you know where you need to improve, or you know how to set your goals for events next season, next year, whatever the case may be.
9-1, Curtis Cullen continues where he left off, and it starts with this great drive serve, causing Murray all kinds of problems. That time a wet ball is called, so it'll be a first serve. Murray skips another one. We didn't say that in game one.
I don't think we said it once, so I mean that's 3 or 4 now. Relatively easy setups, and Cullen with the lead. I don't think he's missed anything now since he's gone on this run here.
Oh, Cullen just missed it. He was right there. He's tried that jam serve a few times. When he hits it really hard, he causes Murray problems. When he takes a little pace off it, Murray tends to get a good return.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he's thinking he just needs to mix up the pace a bit, which obviously isn't working. I think when he's hitting it full on out, that's where he's having the best results.
Struggling with his first serve right now is our number 1 seed, Samuel Murray. Another loose ceiling ball. And that's easy for Murray in the service box. Plenty of people here from Quebec supporting Samuel Murray. They're playing in the tournament as well, across the age divisions and skill divisions. Bent low, Curtis Cullen, and ripped it. He told me how much training he's put in over the last few months, that he's never been in better shape.
No, I know he's in fantastic shape. So even though he hasn't been playing a ton of ball lately, not a lot of hours on the court, he's still in good shape, so he can make those tough shots, make a lot of gets, and physically he's fresh. I mean, he's the same as he was in day one, as is Murray.
Side out for Murray. Cullen, a former roommate of mine at international events, and one of the things that has impressed me is how serious he is about taking care of his body, and even when he's not playing, using his roller, stretching, doing all these things to make sure that he's physically healthy. That starts to pay dividends, as you said, and later in a tournament when bodies start to get worn out, you take care of your body and you get better results as you go down the road.
Yeah, it's huge, and we talked about, I think it was in the last match, about that 24/7 athlete. So it's a process. It's not just about the match you're playing now. It's everything you do in the months leading up to, with your nutrition and your workout routine, your conditioning, so that you can play the same from 0-0 in that first doubles match on Sunday to the match point or later in the matches on a Saturday, and you don't let a full week of matches fatigue you or affect you. And he's a great example of that. Just finished a personal training degree, accepted into Fire College recently, so you have to be in good shape, and can't hurt his racquetball game one bit.
Well, that time Murray earns a point courtesy of the back glass. Cullen was looking for a wet ball serve on his service opportunity. He didn't get it. Through the legs from Murray. Oh my goodness. Cullen just caught by surprise. But you have to credit Murray for just keeping the ball up. Great defense.
Yeah, and sometimes it's tough as an opponent when you see the person you're playing hit a tough shot like that, an awkward one. You're kind of focused on what they did and how tough it was and how they shouldn't have returned that, and then you end up making an error on the next shot.
Wow. Blistering backhand pinch winner. Looks like Cullen's taking a timeout. It's his first of game number 2. Probably a wise one, considering the effort he's put in the last couple of rallies. We'll take a little timeout ourselves, and we'll be back with you as we resume game number 2. And we're back, everybody. 5 serving 10. Cullen raced to a 10-1 lead, but Murray clawed 4 points back in a row, forcing Cullen all over the court. Probably a wise timeout. We'll see if Cullen can get back in the service box. Terrific hands from Murray.
Great hands, and seems like he's found a serve that's working as that drives Z to the backhand. Cullen hasn't hit a good return on it yet. Murray settling into the second game. Looks like he had a bit of a lapse in focus, and now he's worked his way in, and it's a tight second game here, or close to one.
Clean lines from Murray and another point. As you said, he seems to have dialed in. Cullen might be worth just going to the ceiling and saying, you know what, instead of me just trying to rip one every time, you rip one from the backcourt, and we'll see if we can get you to skip it a little more like you were doing in this second game. Wow, but that was beautiful. Look how he turned his body and just ripped it.
Great athleticism, good base with the legs too, just stayed planted and swung through, and it's a fantastic rollout.
They make it look so easy.
They really do, yeah. A lot of work goes into every single one of those shots that we see, though.
Point for Cullen. 4 away from a tiebreaker. This is kind of what we hoped for as fans. We wanted to see Cullen give Murray a run for his money.
Yeah, we saw him play great yesterday, so I think we were hoping for this, and he's given us exactly what we wanted. Both these players are.
Smart shot for Murray. He does that a lot when he's up in the service box. Just hits the lines. Doesn't really go for those pinches.
And he cuts it off well. We saw Wassa do the same thing. It takes away your opponent's time, too, when you're cutting the ball off and hitting lines. And Murray's doing the same thing, hitting quality shots from the front of the court. But not an easy shot by any means.
Wow. Wow. What else do you want to say? I mean, that was incredible. Just ripped it, and it just rolled out in the front court.
No, looks like he's loose right now. It doesn't look like he's under pressure. He doesn't feel, tight. Just swinging freely.
There's that opportunity Cullen had, and he left the ball really high as he went down the line.
It's funny how you can go from that unbelievable shot in the back corner that it's a tough, low percentage shot most of the time, and then you miss the simple ones.
But I feel sometimes at Cullen, it's an all or nothing. I hit it at 100%, and that's all I'm going to do. Whereas you see Murray take some pace off it, make sure it bounces twice before the back wall. I feel like if Cullen watches this match, he can learn something from that. And I don't always have to blister it down the line. Just take some pace off and guide it down there. Even if Murray gets it, it's not going to be a great return.
Yeah, and Murray's so good at just hitting it crisp. You never see him overhit a ball, fly balls off the back. He just swings through really cleanly, hits it, 85, 90%. Even that drive through there didn't rip it or crush it, but just the line was good, the angle was good, and he gets the ace.
9 serving 11. It was 10 serving 1.
And, you watched Murray when he was, down that much. He never looked like he seemed out of the second game. He believed he could win it, believed he could come back. He just about has tied it up here. I think it just comes from the confidence being the number 1 seed. Probably being in this position with a lot of players in this past year here and believing that he can, come back from that deficit and win this game here without having to go to a tiebreaker where anything can happen.
Well, I'd like to see Cullen take a timeout in the next point or so should Murray win it. Skip ball called. Cullen, wow, that's great to see. Says it was a good shot. All tied at 11. And on cue, Cullen does take his second timeout. We'll take our own timeout. We'll be back in just a minute. All tied up 11-11. Murray 4 points away from a semifinal berth, where he will be facing Pedro Castro, who watches on our live stream.
That'll be an interesting one as well. Should Samuel close this game out?
Great get, Murray. Oh no, Cullen was right there. Great rally, crowd appreciate it. But another point for the number 1 seed. Well, we love rallies as fans, as audience, but usually rallies mean that players had mistakes and had opportunities they didn't take in a rally.
No, definitely. Especially in racquetball, when you have that opportunity to kill the ball and just end it. Usually means even on a setup, you're leaving a little bit high. It's not like squash where you build a rally for so long and have so many shots. It's you're trying to end that every single time you get that chance to put the ball away.
Terrific hands from Murray. Cullen going down the left side. He does typically go down the line or go for the pinch on the left side. I'd like to see him try and hit a cross court on that backhand.
Good time to do it too. Just mix it up and hopefully find yourself back in the service box.
But he skips it. He brings up match point number 1. Can Murray close it out at the first opportunity? What a comeback in this second game. Just wipes, says our official John Halco. Murray also wipes his face. Probably the same towel that was used on the floor earlier.
At this point, I think the adrenaline and the moment here, I don't think he cares too much about where the towel was, what it's seen.
There's that cross court that we were looking for. Cullen saves the match point. 11-14. He's not done with this match. Straight down the line for Murray. A little fist pump. Some emotion from the number 1 seed. We don't see much of that.
Yeah, I think he sees the finish line here. He knows he's close to that semifinal, and he's excited. The adrenaline's flowing. He wants this one, so he wants to close out here. Gonna focus and hit a tough serve, one that's been working. Probably that drive Z.
Drive Z, says Mitch Braley, picking up the Americanisms instead of a Z. You've been listening to me too long today. But Cullen saves another match point. Let's see if he can get a point here.
I'll never predict another serve again, Tim.
Well, we've enjoyed this coverage. We've enjoyed being here, providing you this coverage. We hope you have too. Just a reminder as we bring up match point number 3. We have more matches coming up tomorrow. 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Central are their semifinals. Of course, the winner here will take on Pedro Castro. And he closes it out, Murray. The other bracket will include Kobe Iwasa and Tim Landeryu. That should be another great match. You can hear the crowd around us. They really appreciated this match. Great to see such an effort from Curtis Cullen, especially in Game 2. No shame in that.
No, not against a player of Samuel Murray's caliber. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world. He's beaten some of the best players in the world. So for Cullen to have that performance, that 11 points in Game 2, run the points like he did, is definitely something to look on here and be positive about. That's a great showing from him against the number 1 seed.
Well, my thanks to Mitch Braley, who's off to get some more coffee. We'll call it a day, and we'll be back tomorrow with more of this great entertainment. But for now, Tim Baghurst, thanks so much for watching.